I ran across an article recently put out by the American College of Pediatricians. And in this article, they are encouraging educators and legislators to reject all policies that condition children to accept as normal a life of chemical or surgical impersonation of the opposite sex. Facts, not ideology, determine reality, is what they're warning. It speaks to the transgender issue that is really raging around the world. This is a child health advocacy group looking at the evidence from a scientific perspective. And they're making 8 statements and backing them up with facts. They say human sexuality is an objective biological binary trait. XY and XX are genetic markers of health, not genetic markers of disorder. They say no one is born with a gender. Everyone is born with a biological sex. Gender is an awareness, a sense of oneself as male or female. And as such, it's a sociological and psychological concept, not an objective biological concept. Taking it a little bit further, they say the gender phenomenon is, in the larger sense, an artificial and anti-theist tainted social construct. It is an overt act of fist-shaking rebellion against the laws of nature and nature's God. And it's dangerous. They say a person's belief that he or she is something they are not is at best a sign of confused thinking. Gender dysphoria, formerly listed as gender identity disorder, is a recognized mental disorder in the most recent edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of American Psychiatric Association, the DSM-5. They say puberty is not a disease, and puberty-blocking hormones can be dangerous. The studies show. According to the DSM-5, they say as many as 98% of gender-confused boys and 88% of gender-confused girls eventually accept their biological sex after naturally passing through puberty. It's a phase. Children who use puberty blockers to impersonate the opposite sex will require cross-sex hormones in late adolescence. Cross-sex hormones are associated with dangerous health risks, including but not limited to high blood pressure, blood clots, stroke, and cancer. Rates of suicide are 20 times greater among adults who use cross-sex hormones and undergo sex reassignment surgery. Even in Sweden, which is among the most affirming countries. After puberty, as many as 88% of girls, 98% of boys will eventually accept reality and achieve a state of mental and physical health. And lastly, conditioning children into believing a lifetime of chemical and surgical impersonation of the opposite sex is normal and healthful is a form of child abuse. Endorsing gender discordance as normal via public education and legal policies will confuse children and parents, leading more children to present to gender clinics where they will be given puberty-blocking drugs. This in turn virtually ensures that they will choose a lifetime of carcinogenic and otherwise toxic cross-sex hormones and likely consider unnecessary surgical mutilation of their healthy body parts as young adults. There are people out there, there are websites dedicated to this thing by people who have been through this. We're watching a television star go through it, a decathlon champion, Bruce Jenner, who's now a woman, 6'4", whatever. When I first saw him going through this process, my initial reaction was, he's living in a house full of crazy, hormone-ravaged women. These women are out of control. They don't think like anybody you've ever met. It's a highly emotional environment, and it's chaotic. And he and Robert were the only men in it. And Robert's messed up too. He got out. Bruce wanted to become like them. He doesn't look like a woman. He's never going to be a woman. And I think that if you wanted to arm wrestle with him, he'd probably put you down right now. I don't know. We are probably going to live long enough to watch him go back the other way, or become an alcoholic or a drug addict or do something else foolish. This is crazy stuff. And now they're passing laws, and they want these people to be able to use the same showers and the same locker rooms and the same bathrooms as everybody else. Whatever they think they are, whatever they present themselves to be, they can go there. It is a crazy world. And the same people who point their finger at people like me when it comes to religion or values or character or any of those kinds of things are out there doing crazier stuff. They say that we are not in touch with reality. They are. I almost said I don't get it, but I do. If you know anybody who's into this sort of thing, you need to give them fair warning. This comes, I got this off of worldnetdaily.com. Transgender conditioning is child abuse. But there's a ton of literature out there. Save a starfish.